my proximity, closeness, and musical experience. When I was a young lad, back in the 90's, I dated a gentleman by the name of Tony D. And Tony D was responsible for Poor Righteous Teachers and YZ, and a couple of local joints. He did some shit with King's Son. It was the 90's, right? So anybody was doing music, everybody was doing music, that kind of thing. And it was an interesting time because back in those days, Sly, it was beats and bars. You feel me? It was beats,
Yes.
bars. It was beats and bars. So uh, people were creative, hella talented. So many, as you know, so many people didn't get on in the stratosphere as it was. But I remember Wise used to. Wise was real like into his 5% shit, his whatever the fuck Zulu Nation, Assalamu alaikum times. And he would tease Tony because Tone put out an album. He would rap, and like, hey yo, Tone, why don't you play that? Why don't you get on the mic and do that weird rap? Like he would just torture him and shit. Because I found it interesting the
Mhm.
dichotomy between PRT being all black and proud and shit and working with a straight guinea. You know what I mean? 33rd, 33 and a third percent original man type shit. So fun little quick story too. Like how Guru said, you don't own shit, you don't own no loops. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So a couple of times people stole things that Tony did or whatever. Like OPP was an original beat and it was called Adam's Nightmare that Tone had out on the compilation. Just one example. Them No Worry
Wow.
We was another thing. Now I think that was actually PRW PRT's Shakila when
Mhm.
Heavy and Supercat did that one joint. So that was also interesting. I was around a lot of white Jewish men because they ran everything. At least over here on this side, on the left coast. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, Lawyers, entertainment people. Chris Schwartz, of course, he owned Rough House, which the Fugees was on. Couple Guineas, Joe the Butcher. Um, the Outsiders was dope as shit. I think that Pace One is Rob Digger's baby daddy. I think.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with them, but Tone did some work with them. He did a lot of shit overseas too, which was great. And it was just interesting being in a realm where I was surrounded by us, and then here's this Guinea man. People used to always say that him and Kid Capri favored, which I thought was interesting. But it was just a good time. It was just like vibe. It was a wave when we were kids.
Mm.
Being around that, and when you were talking about all of those wonderful classics from '96, it was just like, yeah, I mean, that we were used to that. Real talk. I mean, there were so many crews, there were so many solo artists. It was like, to your point when you said, Jay Z who, like Jigga what, Jigga who. You know what I mean? It was just a very interesting time. It was a good time to be alive. I chalk it up to you always saying, we are the last of the Mohicans. And it wasn't just rap, of course. I mean, we had fucking grunge was crazy. Like, so we had the old shit that we were privy to because classics and good music never fucking die. Never. And then when we were coming up, it was just like, damn, hip R&B was crazy when we were. Come on, man, come on with it now. I don't know what the fuck these kids are doing now, but I'm not into it. I don't feel it. I can't even. I couldn't tell you the latest song by any, even Drake. Like I don't know any of that. I watch DJs that play old shit.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm not into it. I'm just not. But
I would like to know when did you
what is
realize?
that?
I wanted to ask you, when did you realize the business of it?
I would say when, quite frankly, when Tone had that Jew lawyer, Kevin Glickman. He was ruthless. And I never, wow, I would have to say, I think being around them people,
Mhm.
listening to what they would talk about, um, talking about contracts and shit, talking about what kind of cuts they're going to get for representing artists.
Wow.
And also just
Okay.
the politics of it was a little creepy when you think about it.
Can you explain more to that?
People telling Tone not to trust old boy, but that
Mhm.
was his man's in them. You feel me? I never heard him complain about any sort of like money that he wasn't getting or contracts that were weird. It was just all this thing about yeah. I think I believe this in my heart of hearts with respect to Anthony or Tony D. Um, he didn't set out to fuck anybody over. I think that he would introduce people to other people, and some of these kids, these young men, they don't know anything from anything with respect to legality, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. I think maybe some of the artists that he worked with thought that they got a raw deal, but I don't believe that it was anything underhanded on Tony's part. Because I mean, he believed in these kids. He was putting them in the studio and
Mhm.
working with them. He wasn't getting paid to produce some of these people until such time as they were signed, type shit. If
Gotcha.
he found a kid from the hood or whatever, like that one dude I sent you a while ago, Scott Lark, who's fucking phenomenal. This kid,
Yeah. Yeah.
he'd work with you in a studio, in his home studio before it ever went to another. We worked out of a local studio in Hamilton, New Jersey called Epsilon, and the engineer was a real cool, down to earth, interesting white dude. But yeah, I think, and I don't know this to be certain, but I have an inkling that some of those uh, people that he worked with that had an opportunity to actually cut a fucking record might have got fucked over. But nobody ever
Gotcha.
came for him in that way. Like when I was with him, I mean, I'm a lifer. I was with him for the time I was 16 when I met him, and he was 7 years older than I, and I broke up with him when I was 27.
Okay.
So
That's a good run.
we were
That's a good
together
run.
for a long, long time.
S-
And I
So,
never knew.
so did he have a happy ending as far as his dealings with the business?
Well, no, he had a lot of personal shit going on. Know what I'm saying? He
Okay.
wound up. We broke up. You know what's funny? It's off topic. Not that my mom's married to a white man, for fuck's sake. I mean, he raised me. Been married to my mother since I was 8 years old. I'm 53. Um, pardon. He was been married to her, pardon, since I was 13, but they started dating, I think, when I was like 8 or 9. So,
Mm.
but my mom always said to me, because I get it now that I'm older, but when you're in it, you're just young and happy and doing whatever. And my mom was like, what's going on here? Why aren't you guys married? That kind of thing. I wasn't thinking about it. Plus, he
Mhm.
was older than I, so she had issues with that. But see, I was with my dad
Mm.
because my dad let me do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. So there's that. But I'll never forget her saying to me, "He's going to marry his own kind."
Okay. Interesting.
So I mean, it was a complete shrew, but that's a whole nother story. And unfortunately for him, the way it's printed in the paper, which I know better, he passed away in an auto accident, like literally 2 minutes down the street from his crib.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
Yeah, good times.
Huh.
Good times.
So you don't like the current state of hip hop. Who do you attribute that? Whose fault is that?
Span of the people who consume it. So it's not the artist's fault that
And
they're putting out fucking lame shit like, spin that shit and my wet ass pussy. And I mean, that's what yeah, the attention span of the people who consume the artists are just following suit. I mean, they're making money. Where they give a fuck?
right. No, we're on the same page in regards to that.
Yeah, it's just, whoa, you're sending me weird shit. Okay. Yeah, just I don't know. I don't get it. But I'm not, I don't begrudge these. Listen, I'll be glad I'll be dead when the kids take over shit.
Oh my
So, I
god.
mean, you guys like what you like. Like you said, we're not going to begrudge you what you're into.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to that shit. I find it interesting, too, because into the garage at work once, and I mean, one down there might be 28. Five fucking $80,000 cars because they're mammy and daddy. But I'm walking through the garage and I had my JBL on. I was listening to Mobb Deep, and as I'm passing this young man who was at the time 2 years ago, so I have to say, Giga was probably 18. He was bumping the same fucking song in his car, and I'm just looking at him like,
Mm,
"What you know about that?" I mean, he's straight Brazilian, Family came over here. I just stayed. I appreciate that, and I'm always
mm.
I never am without music. Like I'm just bogarting the air when I'm at work. I don't give a fuck. I'm walking through. I got my JBL on blast, and I do appreciate when some of these young guys like that and without music. Like I'm just bogarting the air when I'm at work. I don't give a fuck. I'm walking through. I got my JBL on blast, and I do appreciate when some of these young guys like that. So I'll school them. I'll send these little fucks whole songs and shit on occasion. I'm like, hey, this was